Hey fams, my name's Elizabeth. I'm the author and illustrator of the Teach Your Child to Read a Mommy and Me coloring book. This coloring book is designed to empower parents, caregivers, adults, people who are not teachers, to teach a child how to read all alphabet sounds and immediately into words. And on the first original cover, if you didn't know, I actually had 5-minute lessons or 5 minutes per day or something like that to really try to capture parents' attention in realizing that teaching a child to read is not sitting with them for 20 to 30 minutes per day. It's 5 minutes max. What I do on page 10 of my coloring book, which I'm about to go over with you guys, is break that down on what that could look like, knowing you can adapt it to fit the needs of your child at whatever stage they are. No, it should evolve over time, but that truly like 5 minutes is max for a toddler. And any kind of instruction, honestly, unless you've already worked on building up your early reader stamina to sit still or at least focus on you for longer, in which case, keep going. But 5 minutes max for all the rest of us that might be trying this without having done any kind of homeschool in advance of opening this coloring book. Page 10, how to teach the framework. This is the basic lesson structure that I'm expecting families to use when they're utilizing this coloring book. But if you want to adapt this, like I said, that's appropriate. This lesson structure should be expanded as a child masters additional sounds and syllable patterns. Use a reading action template in the appendix to document your lesson structure. Let me show you what that looks like. So literally there's an appendix, which is just a whole bunch of resources at the back that I'm expecting parents to either photocopy or find different ways to utilize multiple times, right? So that's why I make sure that they know this is a little different from the other resources, which you might want to write directly on or color directly on. Back to page 10. This says sounds, this says decoding words, this says games. This is the 3 basic things that I'm recommending parents use in a 5-minute or less reading lesson with an early reader that's just starting to read. Under sounds, I wrote 1 minute. Use sound cards to review sounds. This coloring book is full of sound cards, so you could use the coloring book. You're gonna also use a coloring book keywords, right, to review sounds. Reread the vignettes or short stories in this coloring book. So that's another way I approach early reading, remembering these keyword sounds. Use real world objects to review beginning sounds. So like throughout your day, P, palm tree, P, okay? Decoding words is 1 to 2 minutes, you guys. You're going to practice blending 1 to 3 words based on the sounds that child has mastered using the word list pages in the book. Let me show you that. So here's an example of a controlled word list. There's more than one of these. They're staggered throughout the coloring book, so you can continue as you teach your child new sounds, have them read real words immediately based off the sounds they should have learned by then. So on this page, they should have learned book, act, good. Look at all the words that they can read and spell. So back to page 10. It says, encourage the early reader to read words they can in the vignettes or the short stories. And then finally, games is 1 to 3 minutes. Play a game that supports phonemic or sound awareness, like rhyming or the sound tag game that I put in here. And then I actually say play games throughout coloring book and via the game list in the appendix. So you guys, teaching a child to read should be about 5 minutes per day. And if you think it was supposed to be harder, you're making it too hard. Happy reading, fans. I hope you, if you haven't considered getting this tool for yourself or someone else, consider teaching your child to read with this Mommy and Me coloring book.